Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Let's try out. Text it. Shri Bhagavana Vacha. Utishta Tishta Pradhamte. Tapasito Shikashya. Vardoham Anuprapto. Viryatam Shito Varavam. Utishta Tishta Padramte. Tapasito Shikashya. Anhoham Anuprapto. Viryatam Shito Varaha. Utishta Padramte. Tapasita Shikashya. Vardoham Anuprapto. Viryatam Shito Varaha.
Tishta Bhadramte Tapasido Sikashyapa Parado Anuprapto Priyatam Ipsito Vara Tapasido Sikashyapa Parado
Shri Brahmanam Vacha. Lord Brahma said, Utishta, please get up. Utishta, get up. Vajram, good fortune. Te, unto you. Tapasita, perfect in executing austerities. Asi, you are. Kashyapya, the son of Kashyapa. Varada, the giver of benediction. Aham, I. Anupraptaha, arrived. Viryatam, let it be submitted. Ipasitaha, desired. Varaha, benediction. Translation purport by Shabbat Ki. Translation. Lord Brahma said, O son of Kashyapa Muni, please get up, please get up. All good fortune to you. You are now perfect in the performance of your austerities, and therefore I may give you a benediction. You may now ask for me whatever you desire, and I shall try to fulfill your wishes. Purport. Srila Madhvacharya quotes from the Sankha Purana, which says that Hiranyakashipu, having become a devotee of Lord Brahma, who is known as Hiranyangarbha, and having undergone a severe austerity to please him, is also known as Hiranyaka. Rakshasas and demons worship various demigods, such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. just to take the post of these demigods. This we have already explained in the previous verse. Om Jnanatimmirandasya Jnanandjana Shalakaya Chakshum Tamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadatmayam Dadanti Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Panchakapatyogasya Krivas Patidam Bhavyo Vaishnavyo Namo. Translation again. Lord Brahma said, O son of Kashyapa, please get up, please get up. All good fortune unto you. You are now perfect in the performance of your austerities, and therefore I may give you a benediction. You may now ask for me whatever you desire, and I shall try to fulfill your wish. All right, dear devotees, so we're reading, continuing this narration of the Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm not going to lie, I definitely tried to get out of giving class today. I asked a few devotees if they could get for me instead, and everybody was busy. So I'm here, but I don't have a whole lot to say. So I'll try and say something that's useful. So here we're continuing this narration of Hiranyakashipu, who has performed his severe austerities, as we were hearing yesterday in the translation, how Lord Brahma came on his swan carrier and he was looking for Hiranyakashipu, but he couldn't actually see him because although his body had been eaten by ants, so he was covered by an ant hill. But now that he's seen him, he's requesting him, please, please get up. I'm satisfied with your austerities that you've been performing, and now I'm ready to give you a benediction, so please ask for something. I can say for myself, it'd be how nice it would be after performing so many austerities when finally someone comes to you and is like, please, like, I'm ready to give you a benediction. Just like, tell me what you like. How many things can we think of asking for? Oh, I'd like this and this and this and this and this. So of course we hear in Srimad Bhagavatam how when great devotees, they perform these austerities, at the end of performing such austerities, they ask for something that can bring them closer to Krishna. I just want pure devotional service. You hear Dhruva Maharaj's prayers. He's just asking, like, please just give me service to you. This is what I want. And earlier in the 6th canto, when we were reading the pastime of Vritrasura and the demigods, they were appealing to Lord Vishnu for protection, for some sort of protection that they could get to become free from the sort of painful situations they're being put into by Vritrasura. And then they were praying for material protection. And at the end of the prayers, Lord Vishnu says, Krishna says, actually, thank you for your prayers, but actually your prayers, they were not done in pure devotional service. Like by your prayers, you've just shown that you're not actually pure devotees, that you're still attached to material things. So this is what you can do. You can go to the Dichi, pray for him, get his bones, then you build a thunderbolt weapon and you kill Vishnu like this. So anyways, this prayer always reminds me of the proper mood that we should have when we're praying to the Supreme Lord, or we're doing some sort of austerity, or like, what is the purpose of it? Is it to actually increase our material propensity, or is it to bring us closer to Krishna? So here in this pastime, Hiranyakashipu just went through such intense austerities that like his body, his physical body, like the bones, the skin on his body, completely deteriorated or was eaten by ants, and that's like vanquished. And he went through all of that just so that he could get a benediction from Brahma to actually just rule over everything, be the, as much as he could be the supreme controller. So yeah, it just shows like the difference. Imagine even if I go through like some austerity in the kitchen and I hurt my hand, like I cut my finger or burned my hand, it's austere, it hurts. But imagine like, sitting in a burning pit of fire or going through such austerities where your whole body becomes disfigured and disformed. And the intensity of that desire, just so that it's actually a material purpose, it's quite intense if you really think about it. So we're about to go into Kartik starting tomorrow day. Check it out. So tomorrow is the first day of Kartik. And Kartik is an amazing month of where any devotional service that we do gets like 100 times the benefit of that service being done. It's a very special month. And I'll read a little bit about Kartik from some quotations that Grace Tarek sent to me very kindly. And also just read a little bit from his Tree. So this is quotations from the Hari Bhakti Vilas. So specifically in the month of Damodar, which is this month, as we know in the Vedic calendar, the months are calculated slightly differently than our Western calendar, and they each have different names of them, like different names of Krishna. So this month, October through November, relatively, is the month of Kartik, or the month of Damodar. Specifically in this month of Damodar, one should daily worship Lord Damodar and take a bath early in the morning, give charity, and follow a fasting vow. This is the duty of Vaishnavas. Any person who tries to observe a Kartik month without following the rules and regulation properly, Lord Shri Krishna remains against them this month. Lord Shri Krishna remains against them because this month is very pleasing to him. This month of Kartik is the topmost of all other months. It is the most notorious, thinking, and purified of all other pure months. There is no month equal to Kartik, and there is no yuga equal to Krita Yuga. There is no other scripture equal to the Vedas, and there are no other place pilgrim equal to the Kanchas. Therefore, the month of Kartik is very dear to all the Vaishnavas. Let's see, it's really nectar. Okay. Srila Sanatana Swami remarks in the Darshanika, those who are engaged in eating daily and following the rules of Kartika, should try to minimize and give up certain ingredients in eating. Obtaining the same form as Krishna means that it liberates one from the miseries of the material world and gives all auspiciousness and happiness. Anyways, there's lots of quotations here that are super nice about Kartik, and you can read some more later about different things that people should do. But I want to speak a little bit about this taking breaths in the Kartik month. So I heard in a lecture, actually, I think it was just last night, I was finishing my rounds here in the temple, and it was rather late. And there were some devotees playing lectures in the Puja. There's a lecture by Swanas Devamita Swami, and he was talking about Kartik. Excuse me. And he was saying, I just heard this like little snippet, and then at that point in time, I also realized that no one is going to cover for my Bhagavatam class today, so that I should actually prepare for something. So then I was reading a little bit about Kartik friends. And so yeah, he was saying the Kartik is a very nice opportunity to increase our hearing and chanting. And I remember many times in New Zealand, he would give lectures on Kartik. He was there. And he would always say that actually, Kartik, if you're in the ashram forming full-time devotional service, and you're fully engaged, and you're reading, you're reading 2 hours a day, you're chanting 16 rounds or more, you're doing at least 8+ hours of service, and you're going up book distribution, then actually taking a breath in Kartik, you don't need to, because your life is already full of austerities. The Kartik is really important for the grihasthas because their life is so busy and they're so engaged in material activities. But taking a vrat during the month of Kartik enables them to actually go deeper into their hearing and chanting, take more advantage of it. And then he was also saying in this lecture last night that I heard, he's like, it's so nice if we take this opportunity to go deeper into our hearing and chanting during this month of Kartik. It'll be so nice. You'll see such a result. So I found this really inspiring because every Kartik, at least for myself, I never used to take ruts because I was always living in the ashram. And our lives were very busy and full of service, full of book distribution and preaching. So, and because he would say things like that, I would never take a rut, except for maybe reading the pastime in Krishna book or, reading a little extra, reading something different. But otherwise, I would go out of my way to think extra. And then, over the last couple of years, I started trying to do something during my Kartik run. But I'm definitely the kind of person that says on New Year's Eve, I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to eat healthy. And I last about a week, and then I don't do it anymore. That's like happens all the time for me. So even when I would be in the ashram and I would make the vrat to read the pastime every day, there'd be days where I'd miss it and I'd forget. And sometimes a week would go by and I wouldn't do it. And then I would sit down for 2 hours and I would just read the pastime over and over and over again to try and make up for all the times that I missed it. So I was thinking, at least for myself, maybe you, audience, can share some ruts that you're thinking about or that you've done that you've proven that have been very nice. Do you have any things that you'd like to share? Any times you've taken a rut for Kartik and you've had an experience that it's worked out really nice, or if you noticed a difference in your consciousness, you can share it and enliven us with your ruts. Maybe things that haven't worked out so well that you realized weren't a good idea.
What's that?
Or maybe things that you took, ruts that you took that ended up not being very beneficial for your Krishna consciousness.
I'm usually trying to simplify things, especially eating during Chaturmas, which has helped, in the past, especially like I've taken lots before, during last year, I was abstaining from certain types of food that I was very attached to. It did help kind of break the attachment to those specific dishes. So it was good. Good to take on some austerities because people say like, oh, your life is so full of austerity anyway if you're living in the ashram, but I don't feel my life has any austerity really.
Right, yeah. Prabhu was saying that during He Chaturmatsi, he would fast from certain dishes that he's attached to help break that attachment. And then if you don't feel like your life's austere, like even living in the ashram or doing full-time devotional service, our life can be pretty easy. But taking on austerities, it's actually good. It's, I guess, determines on how much you feel like you're in an austere position.
Yeah. My opinion is that CrossFits are the austere ones.
Your opinion is like grihasthas are the austere ones?
Yeah.
I think.
I just live a simple life.
Yeah, I remember being in the ashram and thinking, oh, my life is so austere, so much to do and so busy. And I talked to the grihasthas and they're like, you think your life is austere? Your cooking is already made for you. Basically, all you have to do is just get up and chant your rounds. Everything is like totally taken care of. And why don't you try working 8 hours a day instead of sitting with materialists, cooking your own food, buying your own Bhagavatam? And I was like, okay. Yes, your life is more austere. That's, of course, different levels of austere.
Oh, I remember last year, Kartik, we make a vow with my husband that we will offer like enough every day because as you mentioned, because then the life gets busy and sometimes just, you don't do it. Some days you meet, but we were very determined that we're not going to miss you in a day. And it was beautiful. This actually worked out on the evening. Every day that we were here, we were not here, we were at the house. But I was one time I was participating in a call. It was, I think, last year before Kartik, and the devotees were sharing about vows that they took in the past. And it was interesting that a lot of vows were around like not eating sweets during the time. And they would make this vow and then go out and projecting. Make the vow. So it's it's not the best vow during the time.
Krishna May was saying, that her and her husband took a vow last year to offer tea lamp every day, which I was reading in one of the quotations that someone had sent me, that just offering a tea lamp to Lord Damodar is, I'll have to find that out. Anyways, she was saying she offered lamp every day with her husband, and then as of the house, I think it's get very busy. So even just doing that, it's it takes time out of the day, sit down, say prayers. So they did that every day last year. That's very nice. And then she was sharing how she was on a call, and the devotees were sharing the different breaths. And a lot of them were like in relationship to sweets, like not having sugar. And then Bhagavatam Puja came, and all the devotees broke their breath. It's too sweet. I wonder if it counts because it's like Mahaprasad, so technically, like you can have Mahaprasad, and it's still like you can eat Mahaprasad, still be sushi, and because so probably do you want to share anything? You might have spoke for you, but so so depending on our situation and how much we feel like we can take on in our we're doing, then we can take a breaths accordingly. According to that. I've seen lots of devotees take different kinds of breaths during their Kartik, and some are very austere, some are simple, but according to each person's level, they can be austere in a different way. Just like everybody has different needs. Some people need like a really soft bed to sleep on. Other people are quite happy sleeping on the floor, but they need something different that the other person doesn't need. So it's very interesting. I remember when I was managing our ashram in New Zealand, it was a very interesting realization that people have different levels of needs. So for one person, they might think, oh, this person is so austere, they're so, they get up every morning at like 3, they take cold showers, they sleep on the floor, they, chant like 32 rounds, and they go to full program, and then they do so much service. They go and Sankirtan for like 8 hours. They might think like, wow, their life's really austere. And then their needs are just like, but they have to have more prasad, they have to have certain types of food stuff. Like, so they have different needs in different categories. Where someone else might like sleep on a nice soft bed, take warm showers, still get up early, still chant, still do service. But for their meals, they're just happy with like really unspiced, simple kishri or something like that. So anyways, it's just interesting. It's just observing different people's nature. So when we see in this month, people might take on some big ruts. Like, oh, wow, this person's like super elevated. Or someone else might do something simple, but actually seeing like, wow, they just have different capacities, or they're just different for them. They have different capacities they can give. Right now, Hari Kakar was telling me yesterday, so life advice, and he was saying, for Krishna, he doesn't discriminate between people. He just sees their heart and how much and how surrendered they are to achieving God. And I was like, oh, that's really cool, because we were talking about my dad, how he's here, he's visiting, and he's quite favorable devotional service, and like he came here specifically because he wants to do service on the property. He wants to be engaged by Dhruva Maharaj in all these unique projects. He's got a certain skill set That's yeah, he used to be a he's a geophysicist. He used to work with the National Science Foundation in Antarctica. He spent a large portion of his life like traveling around the country and installing solar panels and GPS systems and like volcanoes and things like that. So he's got the skill set that he likes to engage in service to come here specifically to do that. So yeah, it's so fortunate. I was telling my chakra, yeah, he's developing his Krishna consciousness. He came to the wedding yesterday, put on a kurta. A couple devotees asked me, "Who's that senior devotee with you?" And I was like, "That's my dad." So yeah, he's into it. Calls himself a friend of Krishna. It's very inspiring, actually. Anyways, I was telling the Star Chakra, and he said, "Yeah, Krishna, he doesn't discriminate between like different devotees or anything. He just sees their heart and how surrendered they are." And I think this is really nice because this can also, at least for myself, thinking about, this weekend, I have some family coming. I have some family members that are really Christian, like super duper Christian. And when he said that, I was thinking, oh, Krishna can also see their heart, like they're super surrendered to their Christian faith. But that doesn't mean that they're any less surrendered to God or that we're any better than Christian people are. Because we're practicing bhakti yoga and they're practicing Christianity or something. But it's just of course, as you know, the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada's just giving more information and like a quicker way of it. Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead service than that knowledge that's found in the Bible. So anyways, that was just really nice when he said that. Really helped me see it's like, oh, okay, like yeah, they're also surrendered. There's no, I don't have to have any feelings in my heart that are negative toward their practice. It's just different way of being Krishna. And then he was also saying, he was telling the story how all these people were coming to the church and they had these bags of coins and they were giving like a donation to the church. They came up with these huge bags of coins and they would drop the coin bags into like I guess, the equivalent of what we have here at the church. And they were doing this like big person, big bags of coins, big bags of coins. And this one woman came and she just dropped in like 2 bags. And then she went on. Everyone else came. And so then Jesus was saying like, out of all the people that came, this man who dropped the 2 coins, she like her donation was the most pleasing to me. And he was saying because she gave everything she had. Whereas these people, they gave lots of money, but they had lots of things they're holding on to at home. So of course he tells the stories much better. He knows all the names of the people, but I'm not so familiar. But the point was that this full surrender is much more pleasing to Krishna than people who seemingly give a lot but have so much baggage that they're holding on to, so much attachments that they're giving, that they have backlog. So yeah, these months are just really nice for me to think about. Like, okay, we're going to this month of Kartik. It's an opportunity to give a little extra to Krishna. At least for myself, I always think, oh, I've got so much going on. I'm so busy. I'm so this. I forget to actually like pray, make that effort to just give a little something extra to Krishna. So this month is a really nice opportunity to do that. Any devotional service we do in this month of Kartik has 1,000 times the benefit. Of course, any offenses we make, so we can repent for. So especially living here in Nagari, it's considered a dham, a holy place. Be extra careful not to commit any offenses to devotees or unlike necessarily get harm to any creature that's here. Like I was walking just yesterday, I was walking along this path to go to the restrooms, and I almost stepped on this little frog. It was so small, and they just hop along the ground. This happens to me really often where I'm walking and I almost step on something, like a little bug or something on the ground. They're such some small and unfortunate little creatures, and they put themselves in positions often where they put themselves into dangerous situations. Like like a little frog will be right outside of a footpath, or you're walking sometimes and there's like a cricket and it's just right, like they just like in the kitchen sometimes they come and they'll just like hop into all these like right underneath the stove or something. And it's like, why are you doing that? I mean, they don't know any better. Their whole world is what's on the ground in like a 30-foot radius. So fair enough. But yeah, so just being extra careful and mindful of these things, especially during this next month. As Kala was saying, doing what we can to simplify our life, to make time for more hearing and chanting is the real key, I think, from what I've heard lectures. So, at least for this month, my rut is I have two ruts that I've thought of so far. One is to make a breath that I can keep, and the second one is to read at least 50. So, those are my two ruts. So, I'm telling, okay, my first breath is to make a breath that I can keep. And my second breath is to read at least 15 minutes a day. Every day. 50.
Right, 15 minutes a day. Oh,
Which is not much. But sometimes things get really busy. So I can at least do 15 minutes.
Very good that you mentioned this publicly.
Yes, there's
Like, you can feel accountable.
exactly. I've got 9 people on Zoom. I've got you 3 here. And I think there's at least 2 people in the Puja area. So that's 9. 30, 50.
Include that in his
50, 16, 17.
Besides the Prabhupada, it's too much. You get into like
Okay, so it's like at least 24 personalities present, plus all the pictures. Okay, so just saying. My price. So if it gets late and you see me chanting at late night, like, have you read your 15 minutes? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So, anyways, please keep me accountable for my actions. Okay, so it's 7:40. I'll read a little bit more here about the glories of Kartik. And then we can see if anyone has anything they'd like to add. Okay. All right, let's just keep reading Hari Bhakti Vilas. Actually, all right. This is the month of affection, just as Damodar is affection. Thus, a little service the Damodar becomes multiplied and performed during this month. Ugara Karka means a person, in this case, the month, who accepts something very small and takes it big, like a person who feels extremely indebted and performs great actions for another person. Similarly, his month, called Kartik month, gives great benefit. It takes what is meager and makes it significant. The month of Damodar is a future giver of huge results for a little service. So in this month of Kartik, Lord Damodar takes whatever we offer, even though it's small, and he makes it very big. So it's very nice. Performing devotional service in Kartik, one of the most important of these ceremonial functions is called Urja Vrata. Urja Vrata is observed in this month of Kartik, especially in Vrindavan. There is a specific program for temple worship of the Lord in his Damodar form. Damodar refers to Krishna being bound by the rope of his mother Yashoda. It is said that just as Lord Damodar is very dear to his devotees, so the month of Kartik, though the month known as Damodar, Kartik is very dear to them. The execution of devotional service during Rudra Vrat in this month of Kartik is especially recommended to be performed in Madura, holy place. This system is still followed by many devotees. They go to Mathura or Vrindavan and stay there during this month of Kartik, specifically to perform devotional services during this period. In the Padma Purana, it is said that the Lord may offer liberation material happiness to a devotee, but after some devotional service has been executed, particularly in Mathura during the month of Kartika. The devotees want only to attain pure devotional service unto the Lord. The purport is that the Lord does not award devotional service to ordinary persons who are not serious about it, but even such unserious persons who execute devotional service according to the regulated principles during the month of Kartika or within the jurisdiction of it, are very easily awarded personal devotional service. Nectar of devotion, 12 further aspects of terms. Yeah. So yeah, there's some nice quotations also in nectar of devotion. If you'd like to read, really do. So yeah, I'll just ask if you guys have anything you'd like to share, or anybody on Zoom has any comments or questions. So
Thank you. This class. This is what I want to add to your point that you made shortly many chapters ago about Krishna's neutrality to all part and parcels of the evolution, that Krishna doesn't discriminate between devotees. So yes, indeed, he doesn't discriminate because every living entity has every part and parcel of him, and especially if somebody became his devotee, so then naturally he loves them more than. However, as you mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, I reward them accordingly. Because different devotees, they are different because of different level of intensity of the emotion, loving emotions to Krishna. So Krishna naturally being the supreme person is very personal, so therefore he reciprocates accordingly. He doesn't discriminate. Everybody has right to have the same loving exchange with Krishna, but because we are individuals, we have different intensity of loving exchanges with Krishna, so Krishna reciprocates accordingly. So although he is not partial, he is not different, still he reciprocates accordingly. So therefore, we see that some devotees have like bigger affection to Krishna, some less due to contamination and material attachment and all these things. But Krishna is still not partial, but because of our limitations, we have different relations with Krishna, and Krishna reciprocates accordingly.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. That's really. Prabhu was saying that this point of how Krishna doesn't discriminate between different devotees. He sees their heart, which is true, but he also, like he says in Bhagavad Gita, reciprocates according to the devotee's surrender, accordingly to what they're able to give. So, yeah, he's not discriminating, but he does give more to someone who is more surrendered, or is able to love Krishna more than Krishna gives him more of himself to others. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's very true. Thank you. Anything else?
Because you mentioned in the past that you want to just like that you are this person, but you New Year's resolution and just stick for 1 week, and then that goes to
You
So I'm referring to one of in the class, which is shared that, and she's like the person that she makes that is over like a granted for the new year, and it's able to stick into it for a week, like a week, and everything goes to gosh. So I just want to mention that it's not just you, it's most people are like that. That's why those years that we should never wear our costume. And we were actually like us. The one reason is that we have a tendency to go from naughty to like very high goals. Let's say somebody doesn't exercise and then they make a vow like to change like 5 times a week. It's not gonna work, it's too much. And but also mentioned that when we make a vow and then we live in one day that you it's affect us our conditioned nature in such a way that we start thinking very lowly about others. And it's hard to do that because even like a feeling of low esteem, which humility is important in our Vaishnava culture, but not humility that like low esteem that actually means our servants and engagement. So I don't like suggestion because I really like your brata about 15 minutes per day to read during Kartik, but I would like to make a suggestion that is and I actually want to do this with you and keep you accountable and me accountable. So we really text each other every day. We have done it, but keep the 15 minutes as a low. So clear low, medium, and high. So low is 15, medium maybe is 30 minutes, and high is an hour. Because when we stage like this, then we are not limited because when we make a vrata say okay, 15 minutes, and even if we have more time, we will be like, okay, done. Now let's do something else. If we come to different levels, then there's option to do more. Also keep minimum and at level that, like you mentioned, even if it's get very busy, it's still doable to do it. So just like my experience. Yes. Thank you. It's nice.
So now we are
Now we're accountable.
Personal.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. Okay. So think of catchy names for the low, medium, and high, and then it'll be easier for me to remember and do them. Thank you.
just like how much time we have?
10 minutes.
Okay, so I can share some story.
Yeah.
So to support Krishna's point about the standard of Vrata renunciation, I remember in the 80s, we were young devotees. Some of us were 3 years in movement, some of us 5, 6 years practicing bhakti. But still, we were young, in our early 20s, very enthusiastic, want to give up everything what we learned in this material world that we rejected and we don't want to belong anymore to this material place. So we want to develop Krishna consciousness. We want to become saints and deserve to come back to Krishna. So that for whatever opportunity to renounce material sense gratification or attachment to material world, we were very eager to do this. So our leader of Polish Yatra, he came to brilliant idea. So now, at that time, I need to add a real feast. Not my name, but real feast in sense of relations that Krishna was delightfully consuming. And there was a lot, I will not mention, a lot. Not 50, much more. At that time, it was John Master. So the devotees make a vrata. 100 preparations, and indeed. So 100 preparations, everything based on Vedic menu. And this devotee, he was like most knowledgeable of all of us. He read all Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, I guess maybe Chaitanya Chaitanya, because at that time English was not very popular in Poland, especially because it was typical communist country. And but he was very well versed with English, and he read all books available in English in that time. So he was very smart in developing some sort of patient capacity. So everybody followed, because he was our leader. And he came to our farm because he was in capital of Warsaw, came long distance from Warsaw to our farm, Lushankigur, that we have established. So, and he told us, today we are going to celebrate Janmashtami in a very special way. We are going to increase our renunciation, detachment from material sense gratification. Jehovah, everybody was enthusiastic. Yeah, we will do it. Okay. So when we offer all these 100 preparations to Krishna for his enjoyment, then all preparations we put to big pot and we mix everything together. And we will just eat without attachment to material enjoyment. Yes. So I remember I ate this. Taste is like, I will not say. Yeah. I was just pretending that it was awesome. But message went to Gurudev. And Gurudev, as soon as he hear what we eat, he just told his leader and chastised him left and right. What are you doing? Impersonal. You cannot do it like this. Especially that we are young devotees. We are relying on some, enjoyment of relishing the taste of this wonderful feast. And it was just like one mush. And he just says, this is not proper austerity. If you want to make proper austerity, chant with bigger attention. And this is actually want to make another point that referring to devotion and service that Kalasana mentioned. That when Kalasana mentioned that when you perform devotional service with big enthusiasm, although there are some maybe austerities or some challenges, difficulties that we can face in a way, still, because of our absorption, we don't see this as austerity or some problems. And this is exactly the point that Gurudev was making at the time. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned this on the very first, to the very first text of Upanishadamrita. In the purport, he mentioned that our devotional service should be performed with proper attitude. Everything depends on our attitude. So if we perform devotional service with proper attitude of serving Krishna and satisfy his senses, so then naturally, regardless what we take as a prosperity or penances or whatever it is, so then if our attitude satisfy Krishna, so then naturally we will do everything with satisfaction and enthusiasm. Satisfaction in the sense that I'm going to satisfy Krishna. So this is pleasurable thing that, when we going to satisfy our own senses in a very selfish way, so then we are focused, very egoistically on our things. And it's not very pleasurable. But if we are going to satisfy someone like Krishna, the Supreme Lord, so then this quite some excitement, some enthusiasm is assisting. So therefore, even there are some difficulties or some austerities, you don't take this as austerity or difficulty. It's just like exciting challenge, and you are just doing this with great excitement. So Our attitude is extremely important. So develop proper attitude in Krishna's service. So then all the different vratas, different austerities, you will not, somebody will say, wow, you're so austere. Really? You don't pay, you don't know that it's austerity.
Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking yesterday about like ashram. When I was living in the ashram, we had some times that seemed austere, and they were at the time because we had to do them for a long period of time without an unknown end date in mind. But when I think about them now, I just think like, oh wow, that was so nice. Like, oh, it was so much fun. But in the time, I remember being like, oh, this is tough. But yeah, it's probably because I didn't have the right attitude. Okay, we have 2 minutes. Do you know the others? I'm sorry.
So what is the plan for tomorrow? When you can be
Yeah, so there's a slightly different schedule for Kartik, which I'm pretty sure is Bhagavatam class goes till 7:45. Then there's Guru Puja, and then 15 minutes. Then we have the deity greeting at 8. And then after Arti, so at 8:10 to Dhammadarsh converse.
So class goes from 7 to 7:45.
Oh,
7:45. School puja. Then greeting.
Yeah.
And then if not all, again, food being set.
Yes, evening Dhammadarsh at 7 p.m. Anything from Zoom? Right. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Nanda Kapti Vaishnava ki Gita Premanandi.
devotional service of Father already.
Sorry?
What type of, like, what's devotional service like Father already?
What type of devotional service have I performed?
Yes.
Oh, has my father performed? He did some hay, like helped cut hay at Srabikunj and wrapped hay, and Drew was supposed to get him to do some installing some panel or something today.
Ah.
He's a little spontaneous though, so it doesn't really look so wet. Nope, that was